Episode 714. Returning to an old haunt, and they even gave me a ride. Wei Chen said nothing. The other party had the intention, and he wasn't entirely without the inclination himself. Returning to the Pro League, it was something he had dreamed of time and again over these years. To be honest, Wei Chen had given it serious thought, but the very decisiveness of his retirement back then had now become his biggest obstacle. Thinking back on how coolly he'd walked away back then, he really couldn't bear to slap his own face now. And so, as time went on, Wei Chen drifted further and further from the pro scene, his resolve growing weaker by the day. But today, an external force was pushing him to do it. A fierce, unprecedented desire suddenly ignited in Wei Chen's heart.
A golden opportunity, don't you think? This time, you've got the perfect excuse.
What reason?
Your silver weapon is being held hostage by me. If you want it back, you have to pay the price. For someone who hasn't logged off, that's reason enough, isn't it?
Get lost.
You got this.
Yi Shu replied with those 3 words, and those 3 words became the next major obstacle Wei Chen had to face. He was like a lost newbie now, deeply unsure of his own strength.
You think I've still got it? Compared to my prime, how much of my old strength do I even have left?
Well, your mechanics and APM are nowhere near what they used to be, but your shamelessness is as strong as ever. That really puts my mind at ease. A few years ago, it was you, Wenzhou, quietly learning from you. Now it's time for the tables to turn. After all these years, I hit him with a surprise counterattack. How about that? Pretty satisfying, isn't it?
Sounds good. Definitely got some kick to it.
Wei Chen dwelled on that feeling, and a fresh wave of anticipation stirred within him.
Then what are you waiting for?
Now here's what I'm thinking. According to the rules, you bastard has to sit out for at least a year. That means you're definitely missing next season. You'd have to wait for the season after that. So I'm supposed to return to the Pro League at the ripe old age of 32 and be everyone's grandpa?
32? You're that young? I thought you were over 40.
Yi Shu was a little puzzled.
Damn it.
We need some time to get our act together too. You don't want to just slink back in and out, do you? Say, did you ever win a championship back in the day?
Wei Chen was speechless. Everyone knew that the first 3 championships of the Pro League had all been taken by his team. Excellent era. This guy's playing dumb now. If we're talking about who has the least scruples in the pro scene, that title belongs to you, doesn't it?
You mean your goal is to win the championship?
Besides that, what goal would be more interesting?
Alright, scratch that target. Tremble, you little punks of the Alliance, your old man is coming back.
Wei Chen finished speaking and followed it up with a laughing emoji.
You've made up your mind? Not gonna think it over a bit more?
Quit your yapping.
Then we're faced with a real critical problem.
What?
With your complete lack of standards, how am I supposed to believe you're not just stringing me along to get the silver weapon back?
Now that's a tough one.
Even Wei Chen himself admitted that.
Let him come over to our side. Just tie the real man down, right?
Chen Guo, who had been watching their conversation the whole time, hadn't expected that Ye Shu actually intended to recruit someone who'd been out of the pro scene for years into the team. Seeing Yi Shu actually go through with it, Chen Guo immediately started scheming as well. Since they were all going to be on the same team anyway, they'd have to get together in person eventually.
Hey, which side are you on now?
So Yi Shu asked.
4 Seasons City.
Wei Chen replied.
I'm asking which side you're on in real life.
Yi Shu was speechless. Season City was one of the main cities in the Heavenly Domain.
Oh, I'm over in X City.
Come over to our side. Let's plan this out properly.
That's inevitable, but I can't just walk away now. That's what an irresponsible young person would do. I have things to settle first.
Wei Chen had already started lecturing people like an old-timer.
Sure, you go ahead. I'll hold on to your death's claw for now.
If you lose it, just kill yourself and wait for me to collect your corpse.
Wei Chen said, his tone dripping with menace.
All right, now that you're here, you can contribute whatever materials you've got.
In this current climate, it's really not easy to scrounge up materials on your own. I don't have much stock myself. I've got some low-level stuff and dungeon drops, but the really rare materials, I'm hurting for those too.
Yishu knew Wei Chen was telling the truth. This was nothing like the early days of researching the myriad manifestations umbrella. Back then, there were no pro clubs, so few people had invested heavily in crafting custom equipment. Not like now, where every major pro club has that demand. They keep a very tight watch on any rare materials that hit the market, and on the bosses that drop them. These days, gathering materials is no easy task.
What have you got over there? Let me see if there's anything I can use. My silver weapon's only just pushing toward level 50.
The two of them were chatting on QQ outside the game. Before long, Wei Chen sent over a few screenshots of the materials in his warehouse. Yi Chu gave it a quick scan and had to admit, Wei Chen wasn't wrong. He had a decent amount of the less rare materials, but the truly rare ones, barely enough to count on one hand. As for the 3 ultra-rare materials needed to upgrade the Myriad Manifestations umbrella to level 50, Wei Chen didn't have them either. Over on Mo Chang's side, Ye Shu had thrown money at the problem, but from the sound of it, even tens of thousands probably wouldn't be enough to pry those 3 materials loose. There's no market for rare items like these, so there's no market price either. You just have to find the right buyer and see what price you can negotiate on the spot.
Obsidian, blue-white crystal, and Kortong wood. Can you get your hands on those 3?
Yi Shu had no choice but to ask Wei Chen.
These are all from the wild bosses in the normal zones. Stuff like this is a real pain to get, you should know that.
Wei Chen knew exactly what these were. He'd been developing silver weapons for years, after all.
The real bottleneck for hitting level 50 is these 3 materials.
Damn, leveling to 50 needs 3 super rare materials. This silver weapon of yours sure is greedy. To be honest, you got a bit of a raw deal there. This death's hand of mine, I put a lot of work into it, sure, but I can just treat it as an investment. When I don't need it anymore, I can sell it off to some team any time. That weird weapon of yours, no normal class could ever use it. An unspecialized has no future in the long run. I believe a mature team wouldn't invest heavily in that direction, so yours is a dead end.
Well, long-term you're not wrong, but for now, an unspecialized with this weapon is unprecedentedly powerful. Look at it this way.
The two of them then launched into a surprisingly earnest discussion about glory, leaving Chen Guo, who was watching from the sidelines, feeling rather out of place. But this harmonious scene didn't last long. Before long, their opinions diverged, and the trash talk began flying back and forth.
Trash.
Bullshit.
You don't know the first thing about it.
Is your head filled with crap?
The two of them were going at each other like mad, and Wei Chen's trash talk was absolutely filthy. If this had been a pro match, he'd have racked up foul after foul and been killed by the rules in no time. Shen Guo watched the two of them arguing, knew she couldn't get a word in edgewise, and simply put on her headset to immerse herself in the game.